just yummy comfort food. I mean, who wouldn't like a portion of pork tenderloin in a creamy mushroom sauce? It is one of my all-time favorites. I've made it a ton of times in my life. This one has a little bit of twist to it, which makes it extra good. So first up, we have to deal with our pork. Have 4 beautiful pork tenderloins here, just patted dry, nothing crazy. And we're gonna take them like this, and then we're gonna cut them into, let's say, medallions of this thickness. I would say, how many shall we make out of this?
Like that, 4, yeah.
And to make them into proper medallions, we're gonna give them a small tap here. Don't do too much, but give them a couple of, so they get a little bit bigger, so you get about that thickness. That's what you want. You don't want them this thick, because that won't work well. There we go. These are gonna cook nicely, and we get some nice surface for browning and get some sear on them. It's gonna be really good. But be careful, don't pound them much. Like that. We're gonna give them a little bit of salt, and then we're gonna let them rest while we do the rest of the ingredients. Brown button mushrooms, just rinsed so they are nice and clean. Take out the stem, we don't want that. We only want the heads. And then we're going to cut them into, let's say, 1/2 centimeter, 1/4 inch, something like that. Because we don't want them to disappear when we cook them. We want them to still stay so we can see the shape and taste them. They have nice texture, so something like that. And I'll work my way through these. And then first up, we're going to sear our pork in either a big pan or a rondo pot like this. I'm going to use some avocado oil because it has a nice high smoke point. You could use clarified butter also, which would be excellent for this. But make sure it's nice and warm and give it, I don't know, 3-4 tablespoons, depending on the size of your pot. And then we go in with, oh, the sound of that. We want it really warm because we want it to get a quick sear, and then we want to let it finish in the sauce. So we only want to get a sear now. We are not cooking to make it finished here. So. And this goes real fast, and that's what you want. You want a good sear very quickly. That's the whole idea. Beautiful it is. And let's check the other side here. And when that's nice and brown also, we take them out, and actually we switch down the temperature because now I want the pan to cool down a little bit, because we want now to add the onion and we want them to sweat, so we cannot have that high heat now. Oh, they smell already fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we go in with a medium-sized, finely diced white onion. You could use shallots if you want to. I would have done it, but I didn't have any. So white onion it is today. And we let them sweat out here. And when the onion, they look nice like this and they smell like you want to have a burger with caramelized onions, then we go in with 2 finely minced cloves of garlic, and we let that just become fragrant. Let's say 30 seconds, like we usually do. Ooh, this is the kind of onion you want in this kind of sauce. A little bit browned, perfect, excellent, smells fantastic. And that's already done. Then we have 1/2 kilo of brown button mushrooms that we diced before, as you saw, in with them. Give it a good mix. And now we simply let this cook until the mushrooms, they have released most of their water. And when everything looks nice and smells divine like this, then you see here in the bottom all that beautiful fond we have built up down there. We want to deglaze that. And today we're going to use a masala wine for that. Gives great flavor to a cream sauce like this. Always remember to measure carefully. And the scientific volumetric there is called a healthy glug. And then we just want to crank up a little bit here And then we want it to deglaze the pan and burn off the alcohol, so we just get the nice deep flavor of the masala wine. It's beautiful wine for this. And here we are, and everything smells even more divine now. It's fantastic. I love sauces like this. Next up, we're going in with almost a liter of our homemade chicken stock. Liquid gold, fantastic stuff. A liter of that. And then we go in with a liter of cream, obviously. You can use heavy cream, but this is like, I would say half-half, because if you go with only heavy cream, it becomes really heavy. So here we go. Or you could go half heavy cream and some milk. That's, again, you can play with that. Let that get mixed together. Nice. We're gonna give it, let me get that out of here. And we're gonna give it a little bit of soy sauce. Not much. Scientifically, it would be called a small glug. Something like that. 1.5 tablespoons, nothing more. It's just to give a little bit of umami. And then we're gonna give it some Dijon mustard, which is super good in sauces like this. This is 1 big teaspoon, 2, so that would count for a tablespoon. Tablespoon and a half, I would say. What do you say?
Perfect, yeah.
And let's just get that rinsed off a little bit there. And now we want to let that go, bring it up to a simmer and let it reduce a bit before we come with the final ingredients. Here we are, it's been simmering away for 20 minutes and it's starting to thicken up ever so slightly. But we want it a little bit thicker than this, like pan sauce thickness. But instead of doing anything, reducing it too much or use a cornstarch, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna add some cheese. Some grated Greek Gruyere, which is on the piquant side. It's a little bit spicy. It's a very nice cheese for this.
A bit salty.
Bit salty, which is also why I haven't added salt yet. So now we let this melt, and then we will taste it for salt to make sure we are exactly where we want to be. So let this melt. Perfect, and then it's time to give this a taste test to see where we are on salt and pepper. Pepper obviously we need, but let me taste it first. Slap me silly and call me Matilda. That shit is amazing.
Why Matilda?
I don't know. It's just a saying. It needs a tad bit more salt. I would say 2 small pinches. It's not a lot because the cheese is quite salty. But it needs a good round of freshly cracked black pepper. If you were frisky, you could add some chili flakes, but we're not going to do that.
Because we are not frisky.
Something like that. Give it a quick stir. And
great.
Then we are going to immediately actually reintroduce our meat. Nestle that in nicely here. All of them.
Ooh, and the juices, of
course. Oh, yeah. You never, ever let the juices go.
No.
They belong in the sauce. It's beautiful.
I'm hungry just by looking at it.
Well, so am I. And actually, the crust we got on some of these here, it's just fantastic. Now, this is going to be really good eating. Trust me.
I do trust.
I know. Trust you too.
With cooking.
Yeah, not with cooking. No. That's way too serious a matter to leave to women. Cooking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, said by Truman.
So, and all the good juices straight into the sauce. And that's about it. Now we're going to kill the heat and cover it up. And then we're going to put it in the stove, but the handles are warm here because of the gas. So, my gloves. Then we take it over here. And we have the oven preheated at 180 degrees with a rack in the middle. So we are gonna stuff it in here. And it barely fits, but it's there. Now we let it go in here until the pork reaches a core temperature of, shall we say, 58, 59, not more. So now we have to rush over and make the French fries. And here we have a couple of potatoes. We just stripped them up and then we rinsed them a couple of times in water to get the starch out. So we're going to load that into here. Of course, we patted them dry after. You don't want to have too much water when you put it in hot oil. The oil is running at 180 and we're gonna do this straight up Greek style, one fry. If you want them more crispy, you can double fry them, but honestly,
I don't recommend that.
no, I prefer them also this way. It's better. It's
yeah.
how they are served in Greece in every taverna, and it's perfect. So into the oil they go, and there we let them swim along until they get nice and golden. And when they look like that, nice and golden, a little bit of browning on the edges, they are done. Just let them drip a bit. And then we're going to put them straight onto some paper here. There we go. Put that back. And immediately we're going to give them a good sprinkle of salt, because otherwise it doesn't stick. That's just a beautiful pile of perfect fries. We are ready to plate up, see you at the taste test. And finally, it's my turn to give this a taste test. I know the dish, I love it, but we have to do it. And I'm telling you, this is perfectly cooked pork tenderloin. I mean, 58 degrees, 59, leave it in the sauce for a bit, and it's just, I can feel it, but some of the good sauce. It's an all-time classic. You could call it date night special. It's fantastic. But let me try the French fries with the sauce. You might think that French fries is an odd choice for a side dish for this, or you would go with Hasselback potatoes or stuff like this, but trust me, French fries and mushroom sauce is a match made in heaven.